so for the second card, okay, guys, these are like classic Elli cards. So we are going to be doing another book-themed card, yay! But this time we are going to be stacking the little books and kind of cutting them out a tiny little bit. Okay, so what we're going to do first is we're just going to kind of cut this at one of the little book areas here, and we're just going to make like a couple little shelves of, well, a little like area of books. So I wanted to kind of create like a bookshelf, and so in order to do that, I cut a little piece off here, and then the piece I have left I'm folding in half because I want it to be exactly in half here, because I want to stack and make like a little shelf. Alright, so a bookshelf of course sits up on the floor, and then the next layer is just going to glue right on top. Perfect. Alright, and then over here, oh, I'm going to glue this up here. This is one of those books. Oh, actually, I'm not going to glue that. Scratch that. We'll set that up right while that dries. I'm not quite ready for that one. Okay, so now what we're going to do is I'm going to go ahead and tie my ribbon on because I don't want to forget that part. Or actually, rather, I don't want to accidentally not make enough space for it. Okay, so I'm going to wrap this around on the side here. Wrap around about 3 times. And what I'm doing here is I'm filling this little space up here. I'm going to create something down here at the corner, or rather at the bottom of that spot. Not so much in the corner, but it's going to kind of balance that heaviness of the thinking of you with the little bit of the item there. And then I'm going to have a little bit of the ribbon here at the top. I'm going to tie. Okay. And I'm just going to tie it in a little knot and then I'm going to trim it. So, I was going to do both, but I decided to just do a little knot because I didn't really have enough of twine, and then I didn't want to like take away from the sentiment there. Alright, so now what I want to do is I want to make like a little, I don't know, my thought was like a little stand or something, or like a little mini table. So you can kind of make it as big or as tall or as small as you'd like. I'm just going to go ahead and do it maybe that size. I can kind of offset that a little bit. That'd be kind of fun. I think I'm going to do that. Okay. And then my thought here with the books now that paper is dried is I want to actually cut some of these out. So I'm just going to make them, I mean, I don't have to cut them out, but I kind of want to make like a stack of books to stick on the surfaces here. So I'm just going to go ahead and trim those two. If you're a book reader, you have your books everywhere. You got a stack of books there. And then over here, I love this pirate themed book. Maybe you were recently reading about pirates. It's the Jolly Rogers book, The Skull and Crossbones. I thought that was kind of fun. I'm sure you guys have at least one of those. Alright. And we're going to have the rest of the stack of books over here. Alright, I think I had one left. Nope. Oh, yes I did. Now we have that fun little scene. Look how cute that is with the thinking of you. Oh my gosh, I love it already. Alright, so now with the little pieces that are left here, we are going to create some fun little plants. So we have our little circle, and so I'm just going to trim the top of that. It's going to be a little circle pot. We're putting a little plant in, and then also a little square pot here for the same purpose. And then my quick little plants. The easiest way to do this is to cut one piece and then kind of do a curved little top here. And we're going to make a tiny little cactus. Oh, I gotta get a pen so I can do my little dots. Oh, well, it's not an ideal pen, but it will work. Normally I would do little squares, but you know, different types of cacti call for different types of textures. And then for the other one, I'm just going to cut tiny little strips. They're kind of pointy on the other end, so I guess tiny little triangles. I always just use this for doing like little, use that like technique for using little scraps. And then I'm just going to tuck my little pieces into my little pot there. Or another convenient way to do this would be to cut a little strip, put some glue on it. You can stick all your pieces on there and then glue that little, and then cut it off and then glue the little strip in there behind the little circle pot. That way you can gather all your little pieces together instead of having to individually glue them in place. Normally I would just glue it onto the back of that, but I did not this time. Sometimes I just make things a different way every time, and that is okay. All right. Kind of arrange those how I like. It looks a little bit like wheatgrass. I think someone else commented to me that this kind of technique kind of makes it look a little bit like wheatgrass. I'd have to agree with you on that. Okay. Alright, I did end up ripping that up a little bit, and I have to glue it back down. Okay. There we are. Oh my gosh, so cute. Then I wanted to do another plant over here, but I think I'm going to have to do one on the floor. I think that's going to be nice and convenient. So I'm going to kind of do kind of more wavier kind of plant leaves this time. And I'm going to kind of start at a fine point and then kind of squiggle my way down the other side. And this again is a nice easy way to kind of use up some scraps. The reason I chose just one shade of green this time, because normally when I make little plants I usually try to choose a couple shades of green because it makes it look a little bit more realistic. But I didn't this time because I wanted to use the green, same green that was in the bookcase here, and I liked this kind of teal green. I kind of like the jewel tones. Okay. And when I do this with my leaves and my scraps, it kind of overlap a little bit, so it kind of looks like the leaves are growing. I'm not really going to overthink it too much, but I kind of look and kind of see what it looks like from the back side. So kind of know, or from the front, I kind of flip it over and kind of see what it looks like. So that way I kind of know where to kind of arrange my scraps and my little triangles that I've cut out to kind of fill in any gaps. Okay, so once you're happy with what you have built there with your little plant, trim off any excess that might be sticking out from the side or kind of push it in. And then since I have glue on the side here, I'm going to fix my little potter plant, and I'm just going to kind of cut at a kind of an angle, get just a little tiny bit of a taper. Ooh, I cut off a leaf. Not a problem. I'll just get it down. No! I got glue everywhere. Oh, disaster times. Well, that's okay. Sometimes I'm a mess. That's alright, aren't we all? I might have to replace that piece of brown once I'm done with this card. I'm going to fix my plant as well, because that needs to be just a little bit fuller. Oh my gosh. Okay. Deep breath, Ellie. Sometimes I make mistakes. Well, thanks for hanging out with me, guys, while I like totally have to redo this plant. Alright. It's because I had glue on my finger. And I got glue on the front of the pot. Do you guys see that? I got glue everywhere. I'm just going to go with it. I'm just going to go with it. And I think I'm going to somehow try and fix it. Alright. So now that I have my leaves, kind of spread them out a little bit so it's a little bit more realistic. Now to fix this, I have a little bit of brown left. And I think I'm just going to go ahead and kind of give it another layer. Oh, it does not look as good, but I'm going to go with it because I have to cover up my glue dots, my glue spots from my fingers. And it's just going to be the kind of pot that has lots of things going on. Kind of a more modern looking, perhaps. Some little added embellishments. The little top part of that circle that I had turned off, I put along the bottom there. I don't even know if you can see what I'm talking about, but I had to add it because I had to make my plant look like I had done that intentionally. Alright, well, aside from all of the chaos trying to build that plant, I think I'm actually okay with how that turned out. It's actually pretty cute. And since I have this random pen here, I'm going to go ahead and use it, and I'm just going to add some little dot groupings. And I think that will just kind of finish it off. Oh, and this plant here, I'm going to add just some little lines here in the leaves, and that's just going to add a little bit of texture. Again, I'm just using this kind of random pen that I had. I usually use like art pens, but I think I'm just going to go with it. I think this actually turned out really cute. Despite, again, the chaos of trying to put that last little plant together and all the glue. Oh my gosh. Oh, that's always a fun time, making cards with Ellie. Alright, you guys. Thanks for joining me. Have a fun day. I love both these cards. This turned out so much fun. I never know what I'm going to create until it's done, so it's always a great time. Alright, I'll see you next time. Bye, guys.